Hello, everybody. I have great news for you today. I come bearing a gift, and that gift has to do with the subject of my talk, which is building community through conversation and connection. So here's what I'd like you to do. It cannot be the person that you came here with, but I would like you to turn to a person somewhere near you, next to you, behind you, in front of you, and I want you to ask that person this question. And introduce yourself, by the way, if you don't know that person. We don't need to be creepy in here. Ask that person, how are you today? So go ahead, quickly. All right, fantastic. Excellent. You'll get more time. Well, you'll get more time to talk. Now what I'd like you to do, first of all, what did you hear? What were some of the things that you heard from other people? What were their answers to this question?
She's my best friend.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Looking forward to tacos.
Looking forward to talk. I love that. I love that. All right, excellent. Now I'd like you to turn back to that same person and ask this question. What is bringing you joy right now? Please, go ahead. All right, very good. My guess is that the answers to that second question were probably a lot more meaningful and deep than the answers to the first question. Am I right? Yes. So please give yourself a round of applause because you just built connection and through conversation. So good job. That's all I have for you today. Goodbye. Thank you. We live in a world where we have hundreds of online friends, but yet we sometimes don't know the name of the person who lives 2 doors down from us. Last week, I heard a really funny comment. Somebody said, I have 943 friends on Facebook, yet none of them are available to help me move this week. Imagine that, imagine that. In fact, our society now promotes disconnection through all of the modern day conveniences we have. Online shopping, online banking, contactless delivery, self-checkout at the grocery store, remote work, you name it, we have all these conveniences. And it's like we've taken a giant leap forward towards a civilization of hermits that have really great Wi-Fi and 5G. We need to be intentional about how we connect these days. It's not hard, we just need to be intentional. We see, and you've heard it from other speakers, we see this loneliness and it manifests. It's an epidemic and it's manifesting in things like online trolling, in people feeling isolated, even though we are on a planet with billions of people. Sometimes we don't have conversations with our neighbors or our coworkers because we assume that they're different than we are, or maybe they don't share our same views. Between 1990 and 2020, the percentage of people who reported that they had no close friends quadrupled, and we all know that the pandemic made that number larger. One survey reported that 56% of people said that no one knows them well. 36% of people reported feeling lonely and isolated, right? Most of the time. So I would say, Houston, we have a problem. Now contrast that though with all the meaningful research that's being done in lifespan and longevity. And that research clearly shows that community and connection, above all else, leads to a longer and happier life. Even more than the daily shot of whiskey that some of those people turning 100 on the Smucker's jelly jar would tell you, right? My guess is that they are doing that shot of whiskey with a really fun group of people, and it is the fun group of people that are helping them live this really long life. But here's the truth. Community is not built by chance, it is built by connection, and connection starts with a single conversation. When we converse with other people, we become less anonymous. Anonymity is the great offender of civility. When I know something about you, I know you are somebody's brother, or you are a husband or a son, that you love the Ravens football team, or maybe you are a secret member of Bachelor Nation on Monday night and you can't wait to see who accepts the final rose. I know something about you, right? We are connected in some way, and I, therefore, am much more likely to treat you with civility and with kindness and with respect. It is awfully hard to be unkind to a person when we see that individual's humanity. How, though, do we become less anonymous to people? Through two things. One, we see them. And the second thing is we embrace our curiosity. Our mind follows where our eyes lead. I am borrowing, and you will see from some really great quotes I have today, I'm borrowing wisdom from a lot of really smart people. And with this particular person, this is a quote that I wanted to share with all of you. Journalist David Brooks, in his latest book, which is How to Know a Person, The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Seen, writes, each of us has a characteristic way of showing up in the world, a physical and mental presence that sets a tone for how people interact with us. Some people walk into a room with an expression that is warm and embracing. Others walk in looking cool and closed up. Some people first encounter others with a gaze that is generous and loving. Other people regard those they meet with a formal and aloof gaze. That gaze, that first sight, represents a posture towards the world. A person looking for beauty is likely to find wonders, while a person looking for threats will find danger. A person who beams warmth brings out the glowing side of the people she meets, while the person who conveys formality can meet the same people and find them stiff and detached. Brooks goes on to describe these people who see the best in others as illuminators. And I like to have the visual of all of us having our own personal flashlight. And where we point that flashlight is where what we will see. So if I am always pointing the flashlight, and if I am looking for the negative, and if I am looking for how we are different and how we're not connected, that is what I'm going to find. But if I shift my gaze and I look for the best in people and how we are connected and all the things we have in common, that is what I'm going to see. So where are we shining our lights? Because where our mind follows where our eyes will lead. I like to call this the new car syndrome. If you have purchased a new car recently, all of a sudden, the make and model that you are looking at, you see everywhere on the road. It's like it popped out of nowhere. Now, the truth is that make and model was always on the road, but you didn't see it because you weren't looking for it. But just like the beam of our personal flashlight, it's narrow in its scope. And so sometimes we only see very small pieces of a person. Please raise your hand if you have ever jumped to conclusion and passed judgment after only knowing a little bit about a person. We're all probably guilty, and it's not totally our fault. It is our brain's way of helping us process a lot of information in the world. We take in 11 million bits of information every second. But our executive thinking part of our brain can only process 40 bits of information. 11 million, 40 bits. That's a huge gap. And so our brain helps us with these things out to make it easier for us to process the world. And we see this world not from other people's perspectives, but from our experiences. We are our experiences. And as humans, we are really quick to categorize people kind, cruel, lazy, driven. All these different things, and yet we are never just one thing. We are walking contradictions. We are a mosaic of traits that shift over time and experiences and circumstances. And when we take the time to get to know people and know that they are also evolving, it helps us all out because we get to see the world from other people's eyes. When we embrace curiosity, we do a much better job connecting on a deeper level. Contrast the two questions that you first asked. How are you today? You just heard from Cassandra. Cassandra, not Cassandra, remember. You just heard from her, right? How are you? That was a simple question, and it's often part of just our salutation that we have. But what if we started asking more meaningful questions of one another? Tell me something great about your day today. What was it like growing up in California? Share the story about how you met your spouse. Can you help me better understand how you came to this conclusion or why you have these views? Those are meaningful, powerful questions that allow us to embrace curiosity. Because everyone we ever meet knows something that we don't. This quote, "I'm in love with cities I've never been to and people I've never met," hangs in our home because it says a lot about who I am. I love meeting new people, like really love meeting new people. And it's not just the act of meeting them. I love learning their stories and I love about hearing their experiences. I can always find something in common because that is where my flashlight is shining. I am looking to see that common connection. And sometimes it can be something as simple and profound as the love of family or the need to be seen that we all share as humans. Now, I realize for some of you sitting there in the audience, meeting new people may not be your favorite thing, and you might equate it to like going to the dentist. No offense, dentist, no offense out there, but it's something that you have to do, but you don't necessarily love doing. But I invite you to think about this. Every close friend, think of your close friends. Think of your spouse. Think of the people who know where the dead bodies are buried and who have the exact location of the closet and combination lock code of where all of your skeletons are locked up. Think of those people. Did you ever realize that those people were once complete strangers to you? We are born into this world only knowing our parents. But yet through time and life, we get to build our world, all these connections, all these conversations we have, we get to build our own beautiful world. So everybody was once a stranger to us. And all those people, they know something that we do not. I love to travel, and I get to travel a lot for both work and for fun, and thankfully for me, work is a lot of fun. But when I travel, as extroverted as I am, I go into introvert mode. I am not chatty on a plane. The primary reason for that, in all honesty, is that I do not want to see myself on one of the progressive insurance commercials where they're telling you they can't help you from becoming your parents, but they can bundle home and auto insurance for you. I don't want to see myself on one of those commercials. So I get in the plane, I sit in my seat, I get my book out, I start reading, and I avoid making eye contact as people are boarding the plane. Because let's be real, if there is a very remote and real possibility that that middle seat can remain open next to you, you do not want to be friendly and welcoming. On a recent flight in January from Florida into Maryland, I was sitting pretty. Boarding had progressed pretty well, I thought. I had an empty seat right next to me, so this was good. And then I took and looked up from my book, and it happened. I made eye contact with the very last person to board the plane. So my new seat neighbor gets in. He's a 6'5", 25-year-old soccer player from Nigeria. And my son is also tall, and so I was feeling his pain, and so I switched with him, gave him the window seat. I took the middle seat. Honestly, I have no idea if it made a difference for him because there's still sardine seats. It doesn't matter if you're in a window or a middle seat. But it was what happened at the very end of the flight, why he's part of this TED Talk today. As the captain announced that we were descending, I closed my book, and he turned to me and he said, "Tell me about that book you're reading." And I thought to myself, wow, like that's a good question, right? That's a good question. And we proceeded to have this really lovely conversation. I heard about how he arrived here in Maryland from Nigeria. I heard about playing soccer. I heard about where he went to school, his current line of work, about a job interview he had the next upcoming week. And of course, we connected on LinkedIn. Hello, right? And so we had this really great conversation. But my favorite part of the conversation was actually him sharing about all of the wisdom and lessons that his late father passed along to him. He then proceeded to ask me another powerful question, which is, what advice would you have for a 25-year-old? Again, wow. These questions were way better than us talking about the weather in Maryland. So while everybody knows something that we don't know, when we take the time and we talk to those people, that's where the beauty comes into place. So just imagine how powerful our communities can be when instead of judging, we lead with curiosity, right? Instead of openness, instead of being closed off, we are open. Every bond, every relationship, every single meaning of understanding between whatever it is starts with a single conversation. And so today I'm going to leave you with this quote, and I end this quote with pretty much every speaking or training engagement that I do. Not everyone thinks the way you think, knows the things you know, believes the things you believe, nor acts the way you would act. Remember this, and you will go a long way with getting along with people. I love this because it is a reminder that we are all different. You all know a lot of things that I don't know. And through conversation and curiosity and actually seeing you and all of the good things, shining my flashlight on all of the good things you bring and everything we have in common, that's where the power of community lies. So this week, I challenge all of you to have at least one meaningful conversation. Think of your powerful question that you're going to ask. Make sure you're leading in with curiosity, because every community starts with connection. Every connection starts with a conversation, and every conversation can start by you. So thank you.